the different types of people who book the show. Okay, first of all, the club manager or club booking manager is the cat that usually does the show. However, the headliner is probably the next in line. So, in regards to who you talk to, is build a good relationship with that booking manager. Make sure they know who you are, and that you're available and you have the material. And then that's who you would talk to for the typical booking. If it's a particular show, a weekend show, then you would want to go through the headliner, communicate directly with them. They're going to let you know if they have the right to book that feature spot or even MC spot. As far as outside of that, of course, when you have an agent, an agent would be making those phone calls for you. What they typically do is they're going to reach out to the venue directly. They call the club and they ask who the booking manager is. And if the club is big enough or has enough staff, they've probably isolated an individual inside that company to be in charge of booking. It's not normally a split role, as far as like two people book the shows. Usually you have one final voice person, and that's the cat you want to talk to. So in regards to getting booked at a venue, I would pick up the phone and call them. You can shoot emails over, but just understand your email's probably going to fall in a pile of hundreds and hundreds of people requesting. What I would suggest is picking up the phone and calling over to the venue, and at the very least, introduce yourself and find out how they like to work. Every comedy club is different. Some bookers exclusively work off just email. Some work off of personal cell phones. You contact them directly. Other clubs, they have maybe a national booker that books for all their clubs or all their venues. I see that with, like Creek in the Cave. They have some cats that, they got this person who books for multiple venues across the country. The Texas Improvs. Raymond, he's the guy who books for all the Texas Improvs. Plus, I think he's helping with Chicago now. But call the club, pick up the phone, and go, hey, who's in charge of booking? And they'll direct you in that direction. And feel free to shoot them an email, but I would definitely follow up with them until you get them on the horn, that you can talk to them and make sure they know to look out for your email. And if it's close and convenient, swing by during the day. Do yourself a favor and avoid Monday, Tuesdays to get a hold of a booker. Mondays, they're catching up on the weekend. They're fixing problems. They're dealing with upcoming weekend problems. So Monday, Tuesdays tend to be the busiest days for bookers. So I would shoot for like a Wednesday drop off, come by and, maybe bring some cookies or something for the office. And that's always a good way to slip in. As far as the headliner, just, reach out to them. There's ways you can reach out to them. I wouldn't bother emailing them. I would probably go on more of a personal level and try DMing them or dealing with their agent. But anytime you pick up the phone and you call a headliner's agent or manager, they can give two shits about you. So you really want to kind of get in good with them. Now, if you've worked with that headliner in the past, that is a huge asset to booking. The headliner is the easiest way to get put on a show or a weekend. Because us as the bookers, we want to appease the headliner. So even if I booked an MC in a feature and the headliner calls me and is like, hey, I want this person to be my feature. And 90% of the time, I'm going to go, okay. And I'll call whoever I booked and go, hey, got bad news. I know I booked you for this weekend, but it turns out so-and-so is bringing their own feature or their own show. So if you can ever build a relationship with that headliner, that is by far the most advantageous person to be in contact with. I'll tell you one last thing and then I'll jump to the next question. When you ask about a show or how to get booked in a show to a booker or a headliner or anybody, be specific. Don't generalize it. If you come to me saying, hey, I would love to work your club, my answer is going to be, yeah, that's great. But if you come to me and you go, hey, can I work October 12th that night? Well, now you're going to get a more legitimate answer from me. So don't generalize it. Be very specific. As well with that, you can, in regards to a headliner, before you pick up the phone, look at their schedule, know where they're going to be, and again, be very specific. Maybe they're hitting your city, or maybe they're hitting someplace where you know somebody you can crash on their couch, and then hit them up regarding that. I would say normally a headliner probably knows, and a booking manager probably knows who their comics are for at least the next 2 weeks, maybe even 30 or 60 days. So when you're reaching out to these comedy clubs, booking managers, or the headliner, I would say do not ask them about the next 14 to 15 days. Probably ask them about shows at least 30 days out, so that you can have a chance to get on that. But again, some headliners, they never change their MCs and features that always tour with them. So kind of be aware of that, So when you look at a show, or you see a show, or you work with that comic, you want to know if they are using the same headliner or feature the whole time. Because if they are, then, you got to wait for that comic to die to get that spot. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions, hit me up. Good luck on your journey.